Hello, you've reached the office of Benjamin D. Fishberg, attorney at law. I'm not available to pick up the phone right now, so please leave a message and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your patience.
Hello, this is Sean Schwartz. The safety issues that I tried to bring up have still not been addressed. The thing is, the abuse that I'm taking is what needs turned in. I only break the law when I have to, and I'm really trying hard not to have to. But when you said that it was unsafe for me to call 911, that's something that's important to state. There's also the things that you said that you were afraid that the police would do and that the judge would do, and the fact that those things are illegal for them to do really does say a lot for this county. When you say that a jury might not want to side with me because of what I had to say about Tillamook County and the people here, well, that's one of the things about getting a fair trial. Can I get a fair trial here? I'm still being harassed by the same folks. When you say the police will just say that I'm crazy, that's the thing, is that that's slandering my name with the intent of preventing me from being heard and preventing my evidence from being seen. Now I need help stopping this abuse. Telling me it's unsafe to call 911 is, well, that's pretty obvious. You didn't have to state that, but I'm glad that you did. You acknowledged a lot of things that you are aware are possibilities and or probabilities because of the abuse. The thing is, I need somebody who's actually going to help me to stop the abuse. I can't function to do any of the things that you're asking me to do. I don't have the ability, and when I tried to explain that to you, you wanted to interrupt me to offer me a ride for part of it. Like, thank you for the ride. That's not a joke. I am thankful for that. It was very painful getting back to my vehicle. I'm tired of being abused. I'm tired of being taken advantage of. Also, I got restricted call after restricted call after restricted call calling me. There's a lot of small details that are very important to pay attention to, and that's very difficult to do when you're being a Debbie Downer. Telling me that these people, including the judge, are going to break the law. Well, that's pretty significant, and that's something that you, as my defender, should probably approach the courts about. Yep. Over and over and over again. On the bright side, I did record the conversation between he and I. They are likely to break very loud and clear what law that they're likely to break. And or laws. The other thing is he's, like with many other people, someone calling themselves a Zeb Kidane typed, I will donate $2,000. Man, it'd be nice if I had a way to get the $2,000. See, that's one of the things about trying to get help is that everybody pretends that I'm able to do all these things myself, and I'm not. I have to ask people for help doing them, and the people that I ask for help doing them don't listen to important details. important details like they won't send the card to a P.O. box. Prepaid refillable cards work. I've had like 7 or 8 of them. Each one of them, they keep them active for some of them up to 6 months and some of them up to 2 years after you've activated them, where they charge you $9.95 every single month, and that does count against your credit. Meanwhile, I only have that issue because I don't have a P.O. box to have it, or I don't have a real address for it to be sent to. I do not have the access to the things necessary to defend myself, and my public pretender wants to ignore that. He also wants to tell me about his worries that the courts and the police will break the law here. Well, they already have. And I recorded them doing it. He works in the same office as Kayla Long. He also wants to ignore my disabilities, and he can't. He's not making any effort at all. Now he says we have a strong case, but he also wants to warn me about, well, what he's telling me about and warning me about, the things he's worried about, are the fact that the law will be ignored and bias will reign. Well, that's pretty tough. He does know exactly when to interrupt so that he gets to pretend like he was listening. When I tell him about the access issues that I have, that's every day, not just for the ride back to my car, but thank you for the ride back to my car. I also recorded the conversations and the ride home. So, good for me. I have recorded evidence that my own public defender is already well aware that I cannot get an honest court date and will not be allowed one. God bless America, right? He also tells me to go call a bunch of people. None of this gets me a safe place where I can work on this. Alright? Instead of working with my disabilities, they're working against them, and that is not okay. Instead of accommodating my disabilities, they are exploiting them, and that is not okay. He also stated very loud and clear that the people I'm trying to turn in are the very people the judge is going to make me go to, and he's not going to listen to anything I have to say or anybody else. He stated outright, very loud and clear, that he is well aware the DA's office is not going to do their jobs and that they will do everything in their power at this point to prevent any and all evidence from being shown. He's let me know very loud and clear that he only wants to focus on one little teeny tiny thing on one little teeny tiny day and ignore literally any and all events prior to and since. He's for certainly not going to address the safety issue or my disabilities, even though those disabilities have been used to deny my rights as a human being. Pretending I have disabilities I don't, in order to get away with it. So this attorney says he doesn't know who I need to turn in the abuse to. The thing is, I can't process the evidence. He's aware of it, and so are the rest of my predators. I don't have a place, a safe place, so I cannot process the evidence. What part of that is not understandable? A safe place to write a report means a quiet room where I don't have to look over my shoulder. Here at the library, I do have to look over my shoulder. There's also the fact that I can't do anything because there is too much abuse. And he says, well, we only have to show one or two of these. And I tell him, well, here's the thing. There's thousands of them. Okay? Thousands. So I tried showing him the abuse. He did take a look at some of it, and he took some photocopies of some of the paper evidence I was able to take. My back is killing me, my neck is killing me, and he has not addressed any of the issues that are present. He wanted to continually talk over the situations that I'm in and not allow me to finish, to tell me there's some obscure thing that these people can do to break the law. I'm like, no, they can't, and you know it. And he voiced that he's aware it's illegal what they're doing. He also wanted to say that I probably wouldn't get a fair trial because of or that I wouldn't get a fair trial by jury. Probably not, because I don't have nice people at Tillamook, and there's a good reason I don't have nice things to say about the people at Tillamook. There's a lot of witnesses to the abuse that I've had to endure. So I started trying to give him a list of the witnesses, in which before he didn't even want to write down the list. So, I mean, he wrote down probably 1/60th the number of witnesses. Rather than work with my disabilities, these people all exploit them. And this public pretender guy, well, he still hasn't allowed me a way to contact for any sort of assistance with stopping the abuse. He's got a whole list of phone numbers he gave me, but none of that gets the abuse turned into the courts. The police are able to retaliate against me immediately, knowing that it's a years-long process when they commit a crime against you. So if they assault you today to frame you as a violent person, it'll take you 2 years at least to get them to court for literally assaulting you, and they can lock you up literally that day by pretending you assaulted them and then calling you crazy. Now, this lawyer here stated that about the officers. that they'll just call me crazy. Yeah, and you know what? Or know it. They're not qualified to make that decision. He wanted to talk over most of that, and as a result, I'm still in an unsafe situation. You don't get to talk away evidence or experience. I still don't have a friend or family member to help me to turn this in or to go through this process, and I am incapable of doing it myself, and my public pretender knows it. And he wants to use scare tactics by telling me that they'll break the law in the way they've broken the law already. Intentionally use things out of context to have me harmed. So he's already well aware that I cannot get an honest court date here, and that the likelihood is that I'm going to be abused. These officers believe that the integrity of their word, which is bullshit, should outweigh the integrity of the actual evidence. Maybe they shouldn't tell me one thing and tell other people another. Taking advantage of disabled people is not okay. Who do I call? Now, my pretender today has stated very loud and clear that it is unsafe for me. Holly typed, "Hi, Sean, you sound tired today." I'm tired every day, Holly. I don't get to sleep. This shit every single day, every goddamn day. You might have noticed I made an angry video about you, but also that I'm angry at the situation, and also that just because you only started a burner account last week doesn't mean you're not a real person. The problem is that by the time you come forward, I'll probably be dead. I can't take all of this abuse. I can't function through this, and anybody who's gonna blow that off is fucking disgusting. Could you function through that? And then my public defender, he wants to tell me basically that the police are just gonna lie, and of course he tells me in specific what lies they're likely to tell. What does this tell me? That he's aware of the corruption. He keeps telling me I need evidence. I keep telling me I have it in abundance. Take a look. My predators can bring up anything they want, whether it's true or not, in context or out of context. They don't have to show evidence. They just state it as if it must be the truth, and magically it's okay. Holly typed, "Dead? No, you won't. I made an account because I don't know you." So when it comes to the trust thing, I understand that I have more of a reason not to trust you than you have the other way around. I've had a lot of people kick me in the teeth, and I don't know a lot of them. That's the thing that sucks about having to go to the internet. You know goddamn well it's unsafe for me to have to do it this way. About having you here to see this and having you here to possibly speak up is that you know that it's unsafe. You know that there are risks for both you and me to do this. Holly typed, well, I've been screwed over too, and that's exactly it. We've all been screwed over. We all have this. People say, hey, Sean, I'm paranoid because stuff's happened to me in the past. And then, of course, when I say, hey, things have happened to me in the past over other people, don't judge me for what other people do. And then they do exactly the same thing. Like the rules are different for me than they are for you, right? No, not for me. If you were to tell me today that you were being assaulted and harmed, and you had been, I don't know if you're a real person. Well, obviously you are a real person, but I don't know if you're just some burner account person playing around and just typing what you think I want to hear so that you can interact out of boredom, or if you're some. Now, take that personal, that's not my fault. I have valid reasons to be afraid of people doing that because there are a lot of people who type nice things at me, but they never followed through. Holly typed, I don't have to be here, and you're absolutely right about it. Nobody's making you be here. Anyway, my email account is doggedroman@gmail.com. Alright, this person calling themselves Lighthouse has made multiple accounts to do this at this point. Type about delicious pieces of coffee cake. Holly type trolls. Haters gonna hate. Yep, basically. So here's the thing that I still can't function, and it's very specifically because of stuff like this and because of pretenders blowing off the things I'm telling them. I need somebody to make those calls with me and tell people very specifically that my life is at risk. Tell them very specifically that nobody can possibly go through this type of abuse. There is no way I will ever have the money to be able to defend myself. They've made it too complicated. Anyway, Holly, there is a way to turn it in with me without giving out all of your personal information, and that's for me to give you all of mine. And I'm more than willing to do that. I'm more than willing to correspond with you as long as you're willing to be my voice. I mean, please, as long as you're willing to talk and listen one-on-one. If you have a Facebook account, I should be able to leave messages in Facebook a little bit easier, at least voice messages, and you can voice message back, but also understand that that gets complicated. Calling somebody to talk to them one-on-one is always the best way to do it. And the thing is, when somebody's being victimized, it's best to understand that it's not going to be a conversation, and you shouldn't expect it to be a conversation or try to make it a conversation. It's horrible. Alright, so Turquoise Turtle typed, I'm sorry about those people being rude to him. And Addie asked if the guy pedophile is a pedophile. And apparently that message is held for review. I don't know why. Turquoise Turtle type, I'm saying sorry about those people being rude to him. Don't listen to the mean people. Yeah, you know what? Don't give advice. 2,000 people typing that doesn't stop it. And saying don't listen to him doesn't stop them. It doesn't stop the assaults. See, it's not just people saying this shit. It's the fact that these are just their excuses for harming me, for doing worse things. And then we got someone calling himself Spitfire Tactics typing a bunch of bullshit. Well-intentioned bullshit. He typed, hey bud. Well, I don't know this person. Are we buds? He typed, I hope you're doing good for the world. Well, I'm doing my best. And for yourself. You'll get through this, I promise. Yeah, we all get through the same way. Eventually, we all die. Whether it be a heart attack, aneurysm, motorcycle accident, bullet to the head, beaten to death. Could be anything. You might even choke to death on an olive. Don't ever send anyone to suicide helpline. Ever. When somebody is being abused to the point that they want their life to end, do not send them to 988. Listen to them with the intention to help them turn it in. Turquoise Turtle asked if I can block them. Yes, I can, and I do often. But I can't block all the restricted calls. Pretty much non-stop. Those can't be blocked. Spitfire typed, hey man, I've tried to end it. It's not worth it. People love you and people care too. Please don't bullshit me. See, that's one of the things y'all don't get about autistic people. We're very, very scientific thinkers. Pretty words don't fix shit. Turquoise Turtle typed these random people on social media don't know you. I know. It's also one of the safety risks coming to social media. But when you don't have your friends and family in real life who care, you gotta try to get help somewhere. Whether or not you tried to end it is arbitrary. What does that do to help me stop the abuse? That's one of the things about people being victimized and trying to speak out is that everybody wants to make it about them instead. What does you trying to end it have to do with my story other than being an interruption? What does it have to do with my experience other than being an interruption? Typing it's not worth it. Well, that depends. You're not living my life. You don't know the hell that I have to live through or the amount of abuse that I have to endure. Everyone should be allowed a way out. Typing people love you. No, people are entertained by me. These trolls are entertained by me, and of course there's well-wishers that don't wish to do anything except wish well. Wishes don't get anything accomplished. Anyway, you type people love you and people care too. Well, that might be true, but they sure don't know how to show it. You show it by trusting and listening. And then don't betray that trust. understand that there's a process to help the victim turn it in so they're not blown off the way that I've been. Typing in general that people care to, they may care to. But what they don't care to do is familiarize themselves with the abuse I'm enduring and what it will actually take to stop it. The fact that I can't function because of it. That includes the assaults from the past. It's not like they just magically disappeared. No, I have lifelong disabilities because of them jackasses that prevent me from doing the things I'm expected to do on a daily basis. Turquoise turtle typed, glad you were blocking them, call the police to help. I can't turquoise turtle. I have to do it by myself. By the way, people think I'm crazy when I call out most of y'all's names. You know what my name is? Sean David Schwartz. That's my real name. I don't hide behind other names. I made 2 accounts before Natalie was killed that had different names, and in both of those, I admitted to exactly who I am. I didn't hide it because I wasn't doing the harmful things that Natalie Bollinger and her friends and family have been doing. Yes, Natalie's dead. That stops her from doing it anymore, doesn't it? But it doesn't stop her family. Someone called himself Yanni typed, hello there. Holly typed, just remember one thing. All right, here you gonna say something pretty mean, or are you gonna type something pretty, or are you gonna give some advice? Just remember one thing. Spitfire Tactics typed, I'm not, I'm autistic too. And Holly typed, people suck. Yep, I say people suck, you say people suck. All the people that I hear saying that people suck have valid reasons for saying people suck. But they're also part of the people that suck, because instead of doing something about the fact that people suck or why they suck, they say, I can't do nothing. All got our own trauma, don't we? Yeah, anybody typed, what side of the spectrum are you on then? All right, so let me explain it like this. Depending on what state you're in, and most of 1 through 3, and depending on which state you're in, the severity is different, because one state, they've got the severity of 1 being somebody who's low functioning autistic. The severity of 2 is somebody who's, still can do a lot of things on their own. And then 3 is people who are highly intelligent and they are still prone to abuse and will need assistance, but they're able to do and accomplish most tasks by themselves. They just don't have any defense against being taken advantage of or abused. It sucks. In other states, the order is reversed. Type 1 is super smart people with Asperger's. Type 2 is going to be the same. It's people who are, close to normal functioning, but will generally need assistance in most areas. Very low functioning who need assistance in all areas. Turquoise turtle type, autism can be difficult for many, I imagine. Yeah. Imagination versus reality. People are imagining all sorts of stuff. Well, we don't need your imagination for stuff that's recorded. Police officers to be allowed to make it their word versus their victims. Also, if there's other ends, that needs to be requisitioned as well. By calling somebody autistic, most people, as soon as they hear the word autistic, they think of autism speaks. And what do? They paint us all as, even though it's decidedly not the case. Yanni Balani typed, I just hear you say about autistic. Holly typed, I'm telling these folks. What folks? The ones on my YouTube channel? Well, they can hear me. They're already here. Anyway, Holly, my email address is doggedroman@gmail.com. Please send me a message, and I'll start forwarding some evidence from Natalie. Spitfire Tactics typed, I know I don't know you, but I'm listening. Turquoise Turtle typed, I don't think everyone wants to make everything about them. You're right, they don't want to or intend to. They just tend to. Turquoise Turtle typed, some are concerned about you. Yeah, well, they're not concerned because they're not concerned with turning in the abuse or stopping the abuse. Everybody seems concerned with just having me move from one place to another, giving advice instead of helping turn in the crimes. Literally anything except helping turn in the crimes. It's nuts. Am I okay? No, I'm not. Few people here subscribed and asking what's wrong. Well, here's the part where I get to annoy you. This is because I can't go back to the beginning and start over my story every time someone new comes to my channel, and I don't mean that to be rude. Spitfire Tactics typed, I'm not trying to be upsetting, but may I hear your story? Yep. Thomas K. typed, be a man and keep your emotions to yourself, and he's absolutely right. That's what we're expected to do. Just shut up and take it. It's nobody's fault but your own. That's how men are treated by both men and women. Holly, it's alright. You don't have to go at it like a bulldog. Get the folks here like Thomas. But I understand. He's making a statement that's very real, and you get to see the people who agree. They agree for a reason. That's the reality of being a man, Holly. Thomas K. typed, you should travel to a third world country and humble yourself. Hey, Thomas K., you should live in the United States as a homeless person and humble yourself. There are people here in the United States who live in third world conditions, myself being one of them. Don't know what you're talking about. That was a very rude comment right there, by the way. And that's one of the things that people say to be mean, rude, and dismissive. And y'all know that one, as well as you just need to get a job, or you're mentally ill. Nearly everybody who comes to this channel has heard those things out of their own friends and family after they've wronged you. To scream that you're mentally ill after he beat on you. Meanwhile, your mental illness is that you have post-traumatic stress disorder from being beaten on, and you have depression because you just lost a baby. Meanwhile, he's schizophrenic and he's screaming at you that you're mentally ill. So you got a bunch of quote-unquote mentally ill people screaming at each other that everybody else is mentally ill, and it's just used as an excuse to try to discredit another person. Yeah, and he typed, what bullshit are you talking about, Thomas K? Well, Thomas K is being realistic. That's something that many of y'all should pay attention to. He is being very realistic. What are we doing with Lighthouse? We're gonna block him. I'd user on this channel. He's been a viewer on my channel for a long time, but it's always the same thing about coffee cake. He doesn't take the situation or the abuse seriously. A person calling himself Truck Gang 2 type, this is depressing. It is. It certainly is. Of course, then we get the Jesus stuff, don't we? Jesus will never be a witness in court. You do know that, right? Thomas K. type, no, you bottle your emotions and deal with them on your own, not on YouTube Live looking for pity playing victim. Now, y'all get to see this. This is the reality of how people think, how men are treated, how the assumption is. You shut up, you bottle it up like a real man. Thomas K. is absolutely right. This is the mentality of the people who are the most harmful to us. These are the people who tell you that it's your fault when you're raped. You should just shut up when you're raped and bottle it up like everyone else does. For many of these people, they're people who never had to live through trauma. And for a lot of other ones, these are people who were traumatized growing up and nobody listened to them. So they just want to be assholes about it. Nobody's going to listen. Yeah, and he typed, yes, Asperger's, for example. I'm always alone. That was Latashi English. She typed that. Turquoise Turtle typed, hope someone in USA can help you. It's hoping someone in the USA cares to help and is willing to take the risk. See, when I gave out my number to people who also gave me theirs, I had to take all the risk in some of these cases because these people only called me from restricted numbers. That made it so that they couldn't be subpoenaed to court or called by a lawyer or anything. Holly typed, only real Jesus is a Latin. I think the real Jesus was dead. Yeah, he died. What he was doesn't matter. Is it his philosophy or his nation of origin that's the most important there? Holly type name. And you four as well, Dogged Roman. Sleepy. Yes, I am. Zeke, Gerard type bro has corona. Yanni Balani type, we know each other, Dogged Roman, from another life or area or dimension. Oh my god. Good stuff. That's not how the cops treat us. That's not how the courts treat us. And that's certainly not how a woman treats us when we're arguing. No, we're not allowed to cry. It'll be used against us to pretend that we're mentally unstable and therefore should be locked up because the next thing you know, we're going to get violent because we're crying, because we're having emotions. Meanwhile, you get to hear all sorts of officers and 911 operators and 988 operators and 211 operators having emotional responses and yelling and berating and bullying me. Meanwhile, I'm not allowed to speak up or they pretend I'm yelling at them. It's allowed to cry. But we have to know that if we do, because we didn't bottle it up, that we're going to be abused and treated like we deserve it for not bottling it up. It's always a man's fault when a man is abused. Being born with a penis means you asked for it. That's reality, Holly. Turquoise Turtle type, no need to be a man and keep feelings to yourself. These is an idea, not a must. Well, just so you know, Facebook and people don't like it. I want to pretend that it's an opinion instead of a fact, and then they want to harm me based on people doing harmful things over their opinions. Their opinions that are created by what? Believing what they're told without looking it up, without listening to both sides. Polytype, I have respect for a man that can cry and show emotions than a lying pussy that doesn't. Well, I show a lot of emotions on my channel, include crying and screaming, and I don't hide it. Polytype, seriously. Polytype, Thomas, don't you cry? Typing, unfortunately, there are some nasty people out there who do abuse those with disabilities, which is wrong. Yes, it's wrong. It's not just unfortunate. You can do something about it. Turquoise Turtle. The thing is, you have to drop the name Turquoise Turtle, use your real name, and man up about it. Actually man up. Not this fantasy man up bullshit like a Disney princess. No, I'm talking about using your voice. Instead of saying, I don't care, or it's not happening to me, so I'll look the other way. Well, that's horrible, because when it does happen to you, everybody does look the other way. There's a poem called When They Came by Martin Niemöller. When they came for the socialists, I said nothing, for I was not a socialist. When they came for the trade unionists, I said nothing, because I was not a trade unionist. When they came for Jews, I said nothing, for I was not a Jew. And when they, even though he is not man enough to entertain, I can't find the word to handle his grief and pain as a real man. That Thomas K. Holly typed Jesus, only real Jesus. Jesus. That'd be the good doctor, as the good reverend would say. All right, Turquoise Turtle typed well. I have heard of physical abuse to someone with learning disabilities, difficulties. Well, there's also physical disabilities, which I have, and they just talk over it. So here's something we're going to ignore. Giovanni typed, I think he got beaten by his father when he was a young boy. If you cry once more, I'll beat your such and such again. I think his father always said of Thomas K. Well, that could be. I know that my father was one of those you just shut up and man up people. One of those you do what your parents say just because they said it. Of course, this is the same man who is convinced that women pee out of the same hole babies come out of, even after he had two damn near grown adult boys of his own. Yanni Bolani typed, look, I can give you my number, but I live in Europe. Well, that's still usable and helpful because you can verify this stuff is all over the world. You can probably type up Natalie Bollinger's story, whatever country you're in whatever language you happen to have in that country. Some guy calling himself Josh, he wants to change the subject. And here's the thing, we're talking about abuse. I am anyway. We got a bunch of trolls on here who are wanting to change the subject and be distractive. We're used to it. The problem is none of you are doing anything about the trying to understand the significance of it, or how something like this prevents me from being able to take care of myself. I'm supposed to just bottle it up and pretend that it has no bearing, and that's not the case. people that are equestrians, caballeros. Dressage, about mounted cavalry. How about the different types of mounted? It's called an Arabian. You want to talk about British cavalry? Well, they've got light cavalry, that's running horses, similar to a quarter horse. Or, of course, you've got the big heavy horses, like the Belgian and the Clydesdale, and the English war horse was pretty big like that. Now, those have nothing to do with stopping these use or putting a stop to this. Anyway, I get abused. Yeah, Holly is not happy with that comment. Isn't that the good dog who? Yeah, I listen to Dog Roman. Sorry, I didn't realize there was so much typing on here today. This video is about trying to get help. Not in 6 months, not in 6 weeks, not in 6 years. Now. This guy does this over and over and over again, and no matter what, police officers are allowed to pretend that everything that I say must be a figment of my imagination. It's not. Here's the evidence that it's not a figment of my imagination. Matter of fact, you guys are evidence that it's not a figment of my imagination. Does anyone understand how destructive these harassment phone calls are? Or the assaults against me? Or how afraid I have to be to turn it in, the police will just talk over me? And how many people who are in are afraid for themselves and for their families, afraid to come forward, afraid to speak up? How many of them have voiced that in specific? A great many. Someone calling himself American Muscle typed, "I'm here to help." Yani this video is about the inappropriate actions of the public pretenders things, the appropriate actions of the police, and all the agents I've been sent to. Someone calling themselves Ferocity Perfected typed, "Where are you?" Well, I'm going to tell you something. Person calling themselves Ferocity Perfected. There's some very specific guidelines. I might have noticed that I don't have American Muscle types that keeps cutting out. Holly typed my kitchen. Very good, Holly. Holly, please. Connection issues. Anyway, Holly, if you could type my email address in chat, that way I know you got it right, dogroman@gmail.com. And then as soon as you send me an email, I'll send you evidence from Natalie Bollinger leaving her predators. Any type, these things are related to gang stalking or whatever a better word would be. It is gang stalking, you're right. But the thing is that there's two types of gang stalking. When they coordinate together like they have to harm me, that's gang stalking. But there's also the imaginary gang stalking, the idea that it's alien CIA unicorn butt transmitters and stuff like that. And that birds aren't really birds, they're really government drones out to spy on us and a bunch of crazy shit like that. Let me see. At Dogged Roman. Yep, it's actually doggedroman@gmail.com. Perfect. Stalked for the last 7 years, 8 years now, since 2016. By a former friend of mine and a lot of her drug addict friends. Type I feel like I'm being spied on a lot. Well, do you have a smartphone? Then you're being spied on. Pretty simple. If you have a smartphone, as a matter of fact, they're trying to gain access to your code. These things saying, oh, I'm locked out of my, could I have you do this, and this? And when you do those things, it locks you out of your account. Yeah. Let's see. Police abuse against at-risk adults. How many of you cannot recognize that I'm an at-risk adult? If you believe that I'm an at-risk adult, type that in the comments there. Let people know. Seen enough to know that yes, I'm absolutely going through this. These things absolutely are true. And there's a lot more that she hasn't seen. Anyway, when it comes to asking people if they're in danger, I'm always in danger. I'm harassed and online and over the telephone to show that yes, I'm not. Stop prevents me from being able to actually get anything accomplished. Someone calling themselves 9 Lives typed you are drunk. What a pleasant feller. What do we do with those people? You know how it works. Shut up. What do we do? We hide user on this and 9 Lives disappears. The problem is that they're trying to abuse their power and abuse what mentally ill is supposed to mean as far as the courts go. To abuse the integrity of the evidence and the integrity of the spoken word. They're trying to keep evidence out of court by preventing me from having access to it, preventing me from having reasonable access. Of course, they'll use my disabilities to prevent. I don't have any disabilities. When it comes time to actually give me access, they just swing back and forth between the two. Anyway, I need someone to take it seriously today and to speak out today. And when they try to pretend that we can't turn it in, Remind them that these are crimes being committed against an at-risk adult, and that it's against the law for them to turn it away. It's against the law for them to tone bully me or otherwise. It's against the law for them to lie to me about who it needs to be turned into. There's a lot of power that you have that I don't. There's also a lot of power that we. Anyway, I'm out of money. I'm out of funds. I spent everything running around in circles. I can't take care of myself. And unless one of you guys takes this shit seriously now, I'm gonna get fucked over even more. Have more of my resources stolen, taken immorally and illegally. I literally cannot afford to take care of myself. What the hell are they doing making me jump through these hoops, especially with mobility issues? This is all illegal. Holly, you don't have to bully people. It's not necessary. I've already read that over and over, Yanni Balani. You've typed that probably 10 times since you started typing on here. Please stop. Please. We already read it. You already got your attention. You're getting attention. You want the attention, you're getting it. I'm giving you attention. Holly's giving you attention. Everybody's giving you attention. You're getting the attention. Do you feel better getting the attention? Ferocity perfected type. Why does it say restricted on the phone? Because predators don't want you to have their numbers. They want to be able to harm you so that you don't have any way to stop them. They hide behind restricted numbers, badges, all sorts of things. Holy hell, now we got nut jobs talking about the Jesus and the God. Fucking A. Yeah, Allah loves you and so does Elmo. I'm not basing a religion on either one of those either. Yanni Balani typed, I gave you my number. If you sent me a message with your number in it, sure, but I'm not seeing it. Holly type, LOL, Elmo is more real. You're very right about that. You can actually tickle an Elmo. Now, Holly, are you going to take this seriously instead of telling people in chat what to do, think, and feel? Understand that they don't care. They're not the ones that are supposed to care either. The people who are supposed to care are only going to care if you do. These people are going to type on here no matter what. Holly is going off on a OCD tangent or a ADOS, attention deficit squirrel. The name Satan in the Bible, the original Testament, or also the Old Testament, if you want to call it that, also known as the Torah. The word Satan meant accuser in the Old Testament. It didn't mean a demon or anything like that. It just meant accuser. And that's how it was used in the Old Testament. Now, who's going to help me put a stop to this abuse? Who's going to stop to even recognize that this is mentally abusing. This is exactly the kind of stuff that people should be screaming about and cursing about, and they're not. The library is almost closed. Are any of you gonna help me turn in this abuse? Are any of you gonna help me to do it in a way that I won't get talked over? These police and these other agencies know exactly what they're doing. They know it's against the law.
It's just a piece of paper.
Y'all know who that is.
We all know who it is. We're gonna help you.
So we've got Andrew Walnez and a female accomplice getting on here, which is totally cute, isn't it?
Holly's just a murderer.
Now, Holly, here's the thing. Stop being a fucking chat Nazi, bitch. Knock this shit off. I'm tired of it. Okay, if you're gonna listen, they're not going to. All you could do is listen and pay attention to what I'm saying. You don't like getting called names? Nobody does. Nobody likes being called names. The thing is, you're a burner account, so far as I'm aware. You haven't done anything extra special or out of the ordinary or more useful than anybody else. All you've done is type some things on here where you agree with me and where you've seen it, but you don't speak up. There's no way to get a hold of you or contact you. And the thing is, you might, but I don't need a chat mediator. I need somebody to use in. Now, of course, I need to get some. I shouldn't have to yell names, and I see that you're doing that stuff to other people, and I don't like that. I don't want that stuff happening. But if it's gonna happen, I want to be the one to do it. I owe them at least that much respect. If you're gonna name call, I don't want to be. That's all I am to you. Attention back to fucking reality. Let me show you reality here. Okay, here's reality. That actually works in order to contact you or talk to you. If you weren't busy making sure that the only way you contact me is on my live YouTube videos, maybe I would believe you actually care, but you don't. Obviously, I get on my channel and I report here every day on the stuff that I go through because the police won't listen to me. And I'm trying to get help getting someone to go with me, to speak up, to do something. other than get on here for entertainment, and that's exactly what you're doing. You're typing for interactive entertainment. You're not doing anything to help. You're bullshitting. I need help stopping abuse, long-term abuse. And that means that I need help showing that this abuse is going on, that it is long-term, that it has been going on, that the people that I have to turn in the crimes to are people who have perpetrated crimes against me. It is unsafe. I need to turn in repeated assaults, but I can't turn it into the police alone. It is unsafe. Alô, manda salve pro Brasil. Brasil. Eu preciso fazer xixi. Right? Isn't that Portuguese? Brazilian Portuguese. Abre a porta. Turquoise turtle type, you need free legal advice. No, you fucking retards. I don't need a bunch of advice. I already know what the person types. You don't need to do that. That doesn't help. That makes it worse. You're so busy typing to them, you're not hearing what I have to say anyway. Please stop. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people pretending to care, but literally just talking and typing over me. I don't need to be arguing with 10,000 people on YouTube. I don't want to be on YouTube. I want to do this the right way. I can't trust you. I don't know you. Your name is just Holly. Your account is only a week old. How am I supposed to subpoena you to court? You're not going to speak up on your own. You're just going to type on here over and over again. It's inconsiderate, it's dismissive, and it's demeaning. It's mean. And you not seeing it that way just means you're not taking a look at it. I don't want to be mean. I certainly don't want you being mean unless it's absolutely necessary. And being mean to trolls on YouTube, I'd rather you were mean to the people who were harming me in person. And I don't mean by bullying them. I mean by helping turn them in for crimes they've actually committed. Yes, predators think it's mean when you tell on them. You're a big meanie because you told on them. I apologize. I don't really mean any ill will. Thank you. But not holding any ill will and not meaning ill will doesn't mean that you're not doing harmful things by assuming. I have Facebook. Sean Schwartz. There's a lot of different ways of communicating, and YouTube is the worst one. This is the worst way to have to try to turn people in. Because all you guys do, for the most part, is argue with each other. I don't need 30 people arguing with each other. I need one person who's willing to listen to me one-on-one, approach with it, and not blow me off for months or years before doing so. That just allows the predators to get away. You see this stuff that people are doing on this channel. You think I want to do it this way? I tried doing it the police way. I tried doing it the public pretender way. I tried going to the judge. I tried filling out all this paperwork. The thing is, without you coming forward that the effort was made, they just pretend it wasn't. And call me mentally ill so nobody hears me or looks at evidence. And that goes for this current public pretender too. Sure, he's saying some pretty words sometimes, but he's giving me the same treatment. Every crime committed against me, he's trying to ignore and pretend like it has nothing to do with the case, and no, that's not okay. Are you guys closed? Closed at 7, right? Okay. I have to go back to my car and grab my sugar, but I would like to purchase a donut.
Just one donut?
One donut. I ever tell you how scary I am? Sure. There are actually people who think most of them are people who did wrong stuff too. And then they get afraid that I'll retaliate by hacking them up into little pieces and feed them to their dogs and all sorts of creepy stuff. Turn you in. Thanks, Matt. Hi. Let's see. A lot of people type a lot of stuff that, yeah, that doesn't do me any good. Turquoise turtle type. You need someone good in your community area to help you. Yeah, saying that doesn't get it done. No, what I need is somebody who cares. It doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be in my area. Yes, in my area would be preferable, but there are workarounds just in case. Ollie's apparently having problems with typing and decided to take the F word. Ollie chipped his tooth. Maybe just a moment while I get that.
One of the things on here that I do notice a lot of times there's people who are well wishers who are interacting and having conversations with people who are trolls. It always baffles me. There's also the fact that so many people wanna stop and make it about them. There are 10,000 questions. Yesterday, for example, in one video alone, the same question was asked 6 different times, despite the fact that I had already answered it. Oh, you mean people are calling you from restricted numbers? Yes. Yes, they call me from restricted numbers. Yes, they harass me. I don't get to take care of myself. I don't have a friend or family member that speaks up about the abuse that I'm going through or my disabilities. I have people who say that they will. Anyway, I gotta pause here for a second. We got American Muscle here. Type in get a new phone number. God, if only that was the cure for this. Y'all got simple fixes. Somehow magically it's just that easy. It ain't. If your suggestion does not include you calling in with me to turn in the abuse, then please just don't make it. Doing that whole changing your number thing. I don't care if you change your number a lot. This isn't about you. See, everybody's got these quick fixes. Nobody helps me to do those things. And nobody stops to recognize what the repercussions for me are. And there are repercussions for changing my number, especially when I have to be dependent on a shitty government paycheck. That's what none of you focus on. What they keep me doing is running around in circles with bureaucratic BS. What I need is a friend or family member to state very matter-of-factly to these people that I am being harmed and I cannot defend myself. Instead, what do I get? Public pretenders who try to intimidate me and scare me, saying, oh, well, if you try to do the right thing, they'll this, and this. And then they list off a bunch of felonies. Like, if you're going to tell me the judge is going to commit felonies and the DA is going to commit felonies, then why the hell aren't you doing the paperwork to get a different venue? Conflict of interest and all that. Alright, I obviously have no reason to be talking. Y'all are too busy typing to hear anything I'm saying anyway. American Muscle typed, okay, so we need to get him a new phone. No, we don't need to get me a new phone. Maybe you should take a look at how changing my number and getting a new phone has been used to pretend that I'm some sort of creepy stalker. Maybe you should look at that before making suggestions over and over again. How about listen instead of making suggestions? See, that right there shows a lot more respect. Making suggestions over and over again is a very disrespectful thing to do. Because you're not making suggestions based on the reality of the situation. And I'm tired of having to read the same suggestions every time somebody new comes on my channel, and then it becomes a debate. Like, no. My reality is not a debate for your imagination. The things that I live through, instead of assuming and jumping to conclusions, how about listening? When you're assuming, that's like when you're assuming that you've got a quick fix. Maybe you should look at whether or not the person can do those things safely. if they're even physically capable, if they have the knowledge. Turquoise Turtle typed, I believe he wants someone to do stuff for him. No, dude, you're getting blocked. Not for me, with me, with me. See, literally every single one of you fucking retards does the same thing. You want to literally change my words into something they're not. No, not for me, with me. And if there's something that I'm incapable of doing that you're not incapable of doing, then yes, it would be nice if you would help because you're able and I'm not. But you're not going to find that out if you're busy arguing with people and texting and telling people to shut up and be quiet and F you and F this and F that. It's not helpful. It's not useful. I'm not out to hurt anybody. What I need is somebody to actually care that I am being harmed daily and help me to turn in the fact that I'm being harmed and state it as a matter of fact that I am being harmed instead of letting me get talked over like I'm making it all up or like it's someone else's job, because I have recorded all of these different agencies, each one of them claiming it's someone else's job. Every one of them. None of them focusing on the abuse. Now, obviously, the abuse that I have recorded is also abuse that many officers and other government officials have been arrested for. So, if they're arresting people for those things, for doing those things to myself or others, then it stands to reason that those things are probably illegal, and you arguing over whether or not it's illegal is probably not a smart thing to do. Turquoise Turtle typed, are you being physically harmed? Yes, frequently and often. Alright, apparently Holly and Turk are just typing back and forth to each other. Yes, I'm in Tillamook, Oregon. What are you gonna do? You're gonna not listen to me. You're gonna look a couple of things up and then you're gonna tell me I need to call this number or that number. It'll likely be the Department of Health and Human Services or the Justice Department. Any number of numbers that I've already called alone without somebody to tell them that I'm being harmed. So I get treated like I'm making it up. No, there's no such thing as a good police guy. There's no such thing. We live in the United States of America. The reality is there are no good cops. None. They don't exist. Ooh, lemon pudding. Starburst pudding. And then there's American Muscle dude wanting to type on here the same thing that every asshole wants to tell a homeless person. You dismiss everything that we're going through by telling us to get a job. Go fuck yourself, asshole. Don't tell me not to rely on the government. I don't have friends or family that are helping me. I cannot take care of myself. So instead of having an opinion, how about you listen? But all you want to do is, as soon as I say something that you're doing is harmful, you want to do that over and over and over again. You're the guy who says, oh, you just need to love yourself. And when they say, hey, I don't need to hear those pretty memes, that's not help. You start in with the bird in the hand is worth two in the bush BS. You're an antagonist and it's stupid. All right. So there's that idiot deleted for being stupid. A lot of people feel the need to talk for me who don't know what's going on, and they give wrong answers. And then, of course, they want to say, oh, well, I'm speaking for Sean. Well, how can you speak for me when you're giving wrong answers? And most of these people mean well. They're still giving wrong answers, and that gives people the wrong impression. It sucks. It's not that the lawyer isn't the type that I require. That's one of the things about people's assumptions. It's not the type who's going to do anything. See, that's the one thing that all of you are missing out on. I need a friend or family member or someone who is a caring individual who cares whether or not I'm being abused. Do you care if I'm being abused or not? Because, see, you're not on here letting me tell my story, and you're telling my story wrong for sure. Now, that doesn't mean that you hate me. That doesn't mean you're out to get me. It does mean that you're doing harmful things, whether you intend it or not.
I'll have that back, please.
Welcome. If you have your club card, please scan it now. Scan items one at a time, placing them in the bag. 449. If you have your club card, please scan it now.
No, we don't need to go to a bunch of different lawyers and try to decide which lawyer it needs to go to. We need to start off by someone acting as a friend or family member. Without that, nothing else matters. A friend or family member would find out what your disabilities are. A friend or family member would actually care.
Did you use today?
A friend or family member would go in informed instead of assuming they know better than the retard, which is what most of y'all keep doing. Assuming I'm a retard and typing about it.
Please wait. System processing. Follow the instructions on the pin pad.
I think you'd be surprised at how many times idiots have typed, have you tried calling 911? Have you tried calling the police? Not that you'd believe me, but yes. Now, it's all here for entertainment. How many of y'all are here actually for entertainment? How many of you are here to talk for me? How many of you are here to tell me how to think and how to feel? How many of you are here to tell people to shut up? And how many of you are here to help turn in abuse? That last one is the only one I care about. Are you here to help turn in abuse or not? Is this some chat for your entertainment, or do you care to stop the abuse? Pretty simple. Someone calling themselves Clicks GA type said, "Hi, loud in public, I'll give you $1,000. Well, the problem is I don't have someone to help me to get that $1,000. How are you going to get it to me? You're going to give me all sorts of options, type a whole bunch of stuff that you want me to do, but you're not going to help me do it. You're going to, oh, well, you know, all you got to do is get a card and they'll send one through the mail to you. No, they won't. Not to a P.O. box. You have to have an actual physical address. So when it comes to any of that stuff, no, I can't. I've already explained multiple times today about that whole card thing and about how expensive it is and how it actually just screws up my credit. Because every month they want to take $10 off of that card that's not there. As soon as I register the card, there's literally $0 on it. Are you going to help me by allowing me to use your address? Then you get the card because you have an actual address, and then you can send the card to my P.O. box too. But then again, I would have to have access to my P.O. box, and most days I don't. Meanwhile, instead of focusing on the abuse that I'm having to endure, you got all sorts of ideas that you're going off on like a bunch of crackheads. Well, it's great that you had ideas, but are you paying any goddamn attention to the abuse? No, you're not. See, the solution here isn't to tell everybody to shut up repeatedly on fucking YouTube. The solution here is for somebody to listen to me one-on-one with the intent of understanding and helping to turn it in. Myself and my evidence should be the most important thing here. You don't have to be in Tillamook, Ollie. That's the thing, is that that's just another excuse. You don't have to be in Tillamook. You don't have to be here. Did Kara Johnson Miles, was she in the state of Colorado? No, she wasn't. She got to pretend that I'm some sort of a monster from fucking Texas. But you're busy making excuses without finding out. You've already assumed and or are making excuses. But the reality is it doesn't matter where the fuck you are. And then Yanni Bully wants to type an app on your phone to receive money. See, there you are. You're trying to give ideas. I should do this. I should do that. Get an app on your phone. Get an app on your phone. I am sick and tired of that. Are you going to help me put a goddamn app on my phone? Are you going to help me get the fucking room on my goddamn phone on the memory to even do that? Are you going to help me with those things? No, you're not. Telling me about 4,000 fucking apps is not going to get me the ability to do those things. It's not going to get you familiar with the situations that prevent me from doing those things. No, you've decided that a fucking app is going to fix my goddamn problems. If your daughter is raped, are you going to tell her about a fucking app, you piece of shit? Fucking Christ. And then all the get rid of this person, get rid of that person, boot this person, boot that person. Hey, how about instead of fucking trying to micromanage my goddamn chat, you try paying attention to what I'm saying and actually listening. But that's not what you're doing. This person call himself Benjamin Weldon getting blocked. Don't call me old man. My name is Sean David Schwartz, not old man. And Holly, you're being real disrespectful. You can't stop yourself but to go off on an OCD escapade. Typing in my chat, telling people what to do and telling me what to do, telling other people what to say, telling me what to say, telling me not to curse and cursing at others. What the fuck, lady? Are you fucking crazy? That's not the help I need. If it's necessary to do those things, I am capable of doing those things at least myself. What you're doing by constantly typing is making sure that you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're being more of a distraction in chat than anybody else right now, and it's been like that for a few days. But what you're not doing is helping to turn it in, which is why you need to stop wasting my time. You've made it loud and clear you're not going to help. You're just going to type and play chat monitor. I don't need a chat monitor. I didn't ask for a chat monitor. I ask you to please listen and help turn it in. I'm not in Tillamook is not a valid fucking excuse. It's really not. And it is just an excuse. Lots of people want to use, oh, well, I'm not there as an excuse. It's not a valid excuse. It's not. If you cared, you would try no matter where you're at instead of making the excuse of you're not here. There's a lot of stuff that you can do over the internet, and for many of you, you have access to the internet in a way that I do not. You have plenty of time to type here on my YouTube channel for public attention, but you will not talk to me one-on-one. Here's the thing, instead of messaging people to see if they can help, or to ask if they can help. You have nothing to tell them about the situation because you're busy giving ideas. Your ideas are stupid because they're not based on reality. That's why you need to listen to the victim instead of make suggestion after suggestion after suggestion. None of your goddamn suggestions involve you guys calling with me to anywhere. And that's the problem. That's what I need. I need you idiots who watch my goddamn channel and see these things fucking happening to fucking call in with me. Because not a goddamn one of these people in Tillamook is going to make a goddamn effort towards that. They don't care as long as it's not happening to them. What's your idea? The same as all of theirs. It's either ignore it or go turn it in by myself. Neither one of those result in the abuse stopping. Andrew Wolnez has called me over 100 times today. Over 100 times. But you don't give a fuck about that. You're busy telling people what to do, think, and feel in my chat. That's not help. You're wasting my time. You're wasting my fucking battery. You're wasting my attention. Holly wants to be pissed off that I'm raising my damn voice. Who gives a shit? Did you try listening? No, you didn't. It's all about what Holly wants, Holly's opinion, what Holly has to say, and Holly isn't giving out anything useful. You act like fucking children, and that's the problem here. If you're on here typing like idiots the way that you are, you're acting like children. That shows me you have no interest in anything except more fucking drama. And it's not drama to me, it's trauma. Being assaulted fucking sucks. While you idiots fucking type away, but don't do a goddamn thing. What the fuck are you even typing about? Jesus Christ.